this gentleman, he was introduced to me by Pearl, who was introduced to me by, no, there was an interview, no? Sabrina, who you all met yesterday in Green, yes? And he and I had a conversation, and I don't ever know how much was told. Like, oh, there's this thing, or they show, so I never know. And we had a quick conversation. I can read energy, but sometimes I'm slow. A little bit sometimes, but I also can still feel it. And when we're talking, while I was talking, I just heard him say, yes, sir, yes, sir. I said, is this not a good time? He says, no, sir. Something like that. And I said, well, can we talk later? This is very short notice, but we need to know. He said, well, I think he was at the bank or something. But he wanted to not be polite to me. And I just sensed, okay, well, we need to continue this. Okay, we can talk later. And then I called him back in a while, and we said, here's what we need and everything. And I said, now, where do you live? South Carolina. Said, okay, this is in Florida. Also, I just want to clarify, no, there's not a virtual online option. Which is so many people have said, this is so awesome. This is great. But you're doing virtual, right? No, there's no virtual to it. And he said, okay. And what are you going to do? Well, I'll get there. I can probably be there by Friday night or something. I said, well, what's going on? Well, what do you have to do? So I'm going on and on, but 1 minute. Just tell us your experience and why you're here and how this all happened and what you feel. All in 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, DeShaun Williams.
So as I said, my name is DeShaun Williams, and I'm from South Carolina. Leaving out yesterday, I left at about 3 p.m. on a 7.5-hour drive to get to Orlando, Florida. And I had just booked my hotel as I was driving here. Nice. Okay, so what am I going to do if they don't have any room? I only got so much money on the card. And so I went, checked, I said, okay, I said, they got a room. 7.5 hours later, I pull up. I got here about 10:30 last night. Got to the hotel. Of course, I'm 3 miles away from Universal Studios, so what happens? That's a line from the registration all the way down, back outside the front door.
I thought you were going to say you decided to go over this.
I had already paid, that's why I stayed.
No, I thought you were going to say that you decided to, take a detour and go see Disney World or go to Universal for a little night fun.
So when I finally got checked in, it was 11:43. Got lost on my way to the room, also trying to look for my car because I had to put the parking tag up. Never found my car last night, so I'll find it in the morning. Got up this morning at 6 o'clock, got dressed, left the hotel at 7, and as I went to go turn in everything, they was like, well, how'd you enjoy your stay? I was like, well, it was short, but and as I walked out, I was like, okay, so where did I park my car at? I'm just walking around the hotel like, they gonna see me walk this hotel about 3 times, about 6 miles. I just happened to take one detour and I was like, I don't think I parked right here. And then I looked up like, oh, that's my car right now. So go ahead and get in and get going. So that was my trip. And
he has an event coming up. He's not pitching this event, but Pearl is actually going to be one of his speakers. And she said, I told him he really needs to be here because I would be on his stage, I invited him to this stage. And so, look, you are setting an example and you're an inspiration. There's so many people that find an obstacle, find a reason. I can't do it because of this, that. Okay, we're talking to DeShaun.
Yeah.
Talking to DeShaun about why he can't. And I'm talking to him when he watched on the video or whatever. Right? If something strikes and resonates with you, do it. Make it happen. Right?
Thank you.
Congratulations. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our next storyteller coming to the stage. DeShaun Williams is a confidence and leadership coach, business owner, public speaker, author, and podcast host from South Carolina. His main focus is to teach you how to build up your confidence levels while also learning how to be the successful leader that you were designed to be. Please rise to your feet and bring your welcome.
So I am a confidence coach, leadership coach. I'm also a future husband-to-be as I got engaged the same day that Christoph called me. Surprisingly, the person I am today, 3 years ago, I was not that person. So 3 years ago, I was going through a very hard time, did not know where I wanted to be, did not have any sense of direction. I remember going to church that Sunday and telling someone, I couldn't get any sleep last night. It was like, why? I was like, well, I was contemplating suicide last night. I didn't think anything else about it. I didn't think it was going to go any further than me telling them until 3 days later. That Wednesday night, I go to church and the church officials look at me and says, you have two options. You can either go to the hospital on your own, or we can take you there against your power. I was like, you can't do that. you can't just hijack me and just take me somewhere. It's like, well, our main focus is your safety. So I was like, well, you're not about to just take me, so I'm going to go under my own power. It was like, well, you can't drive your car. Hold on, so you mean I can go under my own power, but I can't drive? So I was like, well, I don't like driving. I don't like riding with other people. So they was like, well, you got no choice. I went, and I'll never forget, I looked at the guy driving, and I said, if I didn't kill myself, you're definitely about to. He was like, how can you be so upbeat? I was like, I don't know. It's just who I am. I have humor in some of the weirdest things that has happened. So I got to the hospital, and they asked me what was going on, and I explained it to them. It's like, well, I'm suffering from depression, and I'm just ready to end it all. It's like, empty your pockets. Like, what you mean empty my pockets? It's like, you got a phone? Put it on the sink. You got a charger? Put it on the sink. Your ring, we need you to take it off. Your watch, your belt, your shoes. I was like, hold up now. You can't just take the shoes from me. It's like, got strings on them, so we got to take them. I'm like, okay. So I remember staying the night in that pod, as we call it in South Carolina, which is weird to me. But I stayed in that pod for 12 hours before they moved me up to the 3rd floor, which is what they consider their psych ward. Going up to the psych ward, I did nothing but sleep the entire first day. Then I get a little ring to the room. They call me by my legal name, which is DeMarco. And they was like, DeMarco, you can't stay in your room all day. I said, look, I don't want y'all messing with me. I don't want y'all bothering me. Leave me alone. I just want to sleep. Well, you got to interact if you want to get out. I said, oh, how long I got to interact to get out? They said, whenever we deem like you're good enough to go. So I remember walking out the room, and interacting with a bunch of other people that I did not know from a grain of sand, and we came from pretty much the same background. As the week went on, I remember the physical therapist, well, not physical therapist, but the therapist coming in and telling me, you have what we consider severe depression, code red depression. The only way how you can find your way out is through taking your own life. And so you'll never be able to motivate, inspire, or influence other people like everyone else in the world. They said, oh, we also want to tell you, your health insurance declined, so you have a $19,000 bill. So I said, it's one thing to tell me that I will never be able to achieve something in my life. But it's the second thing to tell me I got a $19,000 bill when I make it for attempted suicide. It was like, well, we got to let you know. I was like, you can let me know that as I left. Or send me a bill in the mail, whichever one works for you. And so I remember staying there 3 more days after they told me that, and I finally got released. They asked me, they said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm about to go out, I'm about to make a change. I said, they said, I can't do this. Don't believe me, just watch.
Come on.
As I left out of the hospital, went home, I started up a podcast, which was called Talk That Matters, where I talked about my life growing up, to me, one time cheating in relationships, to fully just suffering from depression, and how I want to inspire others to build up their confidence and their leadership. So if there's anything that you can learn from this today, we all have issues that we deal with, but how you carry yourself and how you believe in yourself is what's going to take you to your next level.
Thank you so much for being an amazing audience. Please stand up once again, and please welcome to the stage our next semi-finalist in the Storyteller category.
So, I told y'all earlier, I got engaged the same day that I got the call. And the first question I got asked was, how are you going to become a father and you didn't have a father in your life? And my answer to them was, everything that my father was not there to show me is what I'm going to show my kids. The love that was not given to me, the love that was not there, the time that was not spent, they're all going to get there. So a little bit about that. I have a brother that stays here in St. Pete, Florida. He knows his father. When I was born, my father was nowhere to be found. 16 DNA tests all came back negative. When they asked my mom who my father was, she gave off a name. They did a DNA test. It came back negative. At that moment, she said, I don't know who the father is. And this one guy came up to me through Facebook Messenger, and he was coming up to the house when I was staying with my grandma and my grandpa. And he said, I'm your father. Only problem was, when it came down to us wanting a DNA test, he ran back to Connecticut. To this day, he still tells me that he's my father. 3 months ago, he reached out to me, and He was like, I want to spend time with you. 10 years of being hard-headed and everything, and just trying to figure out, is he legit? Because he has 10 other kids that he doesn't see about. So why should he come and be a part of my life? He hasn't been there since the beginning. And I told my grandma, I said, well, I'm gonna give him this opportunity to come out and come see me. And she said, well, that's what you want to do? Do it. I remember going into work, and I was working first shift at the time. And I said, hey, I need to get off at 1 o'clock today, not 2, because the guy that says he's my father's coming to finally meet me. They said, that's fine. At 11 o'clock a.m., I get a message. Hey, are you at work? I said, yes. What time did you get off? I said, well, I'm getting off at 1 o'clock. I said, why? What time do you normally get off? I said, 2:30. But once again, why do you ask? My ride didn't show up. So I won't be able to make it down to the city. They knew how bad it was for me to want to finally meet you in person. I look at my supervisor, tears running down my face. And remind you, this is 3 months ago. I have tears running down my face, and I said, I can't stay till 1 o'clock. I have to leave now. He says, why? I said, all this time that I've put into making sure that this time is right, it still has not worked out for the best of me. He said, I understand. Just come back tomorrow. Come back and work 2 extra hours tomorrow. He said, that is fine. As I'm driving down the road, the guy that claims to be my father calls me back and says, hey, do you think you can come to Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina? I said, no. I said, I have a business to run. I took time out of my day, out of my busy schedule for you. You could not respect that. You must now get in where you fit in. And he told me, he said, so you're going to talk to your father like that? I said, I've only had one father. It was my grandfather. Because the fact that you didn't step up and my mom did not step up, I got adopted. And I'm proud of where I came from. I'm proud of being adopted. And he said, well, I'm glad of everything that you have accomplished. Do you think I could be on your podcast one day? Unless you want us to talk about deadbeat dads and how they ain't no good. He looks at me, he got quiet, he's like, I don't think I want to talk about that topic. Well, you don't want to talk about that topic, then you can't be a guest on the podcast. He's like, so it's like that. Time is money. And when I'm wasting time, I'm losing money. And since then, he has not contacted me, and I have not contacted him. That's all.